Why are so many people frazzled and finding it difficult to concentrate? Stolen Focus, Why You Can't Pay Attention, and How to Think Deeply Again by Johann Hari. They've done some tracking with computer software and office workers, and they find that the office workers can only focus for about 3 minutes at a time. I've looked on some other websites, and some of them say even less. And when they checked college students, they were found to focus for only 19 seconds. Hari explains why we are losing our attention span and ways that we can try to get it back. When attention breaks down, we become less creative, we read less, and it's more difficult for us to problem solve as an individual and as part of a group. People who can't focus and are having trouble making decisions are more apt to be drawn to simplistic, authoritarian solutions. They want to be told what to do rather than figure it out themselves. What are the reasons why our attention is breaking down? Hari mentions there are many, and they've been going on for years. To start, people are getting an average of 1 hour of sleep less a night than they did 50 years ago because of electricity and scrolling on the screen. We're constantly switching from one task to another. Emails, texting, notifications. And we're also racing around from one activity to another, which is driving up our anxiety. People are working longer hours, eating more processed food, and exercising less, which is all increasing stress. We're exposed to more and more chemicals. And lastly, the business model of technology companies. Their model is to make money, and they do that by keeping you engaged to the screen for longer periods of time. They track our emails, the words that we say, our purchasing history, where we go, and what we Google. And the tech companies take all this information and sell it to the advertising companies, who then target you specifically for certain ads. This is called surveillance capitalism. Is this ethical? No. But they keep doing it because no one stops them. And they will continue to hire engineers to design products to keep you more engaged. At a conference of hundreds of technology engineers and designers, they were asked, "Do you want to live in a world that you are designing?" Hari said not one hand went up. Many of them limit the time that their children are exposed to technology because they know how damaging and influential it is. And many of them send their children to non-tech Montessori schools. There are computer engineers who have made proposals to design products that would benefit humans to help reduce our stress and calm our minds, like putting a pause in the scrolling or sending out batch emails. But all of these proposals get turned down because they would affect the bottom line. Greed drives these companies. Hari mentions that the technology companies are well aware that they are exploiting people's attention, but they don't care in the harm that it's doing. Right now, they are stalling, denying, asking for more research, and blaming customers, just like the cigarette companies did years ago with cigarettes. The technology companies' sole objective is to use psychologically manipulative techniques to keep you engaged on the screen longer so that they can make more money. Hari says this is not the way that it has to be. We saw during COVID that the technology companies can adapt very quickly to change. Hari says, quote, "We need to liberate ourselves from people who are controlling our minds without our consent," unquote. And with artificial intelligence happening, this is becoming more challenging to contend with. But there is hope. There are things that we can do to try to increase our attention span. Hari mentions many of them, with slowing down, doing one thing at a time, putting your phone in another room and trying to get 8 hours of sleep, eating whole foods, exercising, reducing our exposure to chemicals, turning off notifications on your phone, putting it on Do Not Disturb or in another room so that you can focus and work for a couple of hours, allowing children to play outside on their own. So many kids are transported from one structured activity to another, and they're always being told what to do. They need a chance to go outside, create their own games with other kids, their own rules, so that they can learn how to negotiate and make decisions. We all could read more books. When we read a book, our minds have to focus on one thing at a time, think deeply, and we think in a linear manner, unlike the manic reading that we do on the computer. If you can, and your employer allows it, work 4 days a week. But that doesn't always work out for everybody. But it is important to take some time to do meaningful activities. Maybe you like to write or bike or paint, which allows your mind to relax and focus on something else. When our minds have a chance to wander, they actually are working, associating different thoughts and making connections, and they find that people who take time to let their mind wander are more creative. And once we increase our attention span individually, we will be able to work together collectively and demand that the technology companies change their exploitive ways. Hari traveled all over the world, interviewed many experts, and did a lot of research. He even spent 3 months tech-free as a comparative experience. This book is an excellent read. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Keep reading and have a great week.